Sir and classmates. I am here to report the continuation of Charter 14, which is managing projects. Here are the importance of establishing the business values of information systems. It's essential to organizations in order to support strategic decisions. Information adds value to organizations as it allows improving products and services, reducing business costs, and developing new innovations. It's also used to manage business information in such a way that allows organizations to increase profitability, to improve productivity, and to gain other intangible benefits with the objective of achieving sustainable competitive advantage and company success. Also, it allows organizations to adapt to external changes in the business environment, otherwise they could not remain competitive. Information system costs and benefits. Costs which may be fixed, variable, direct or indirect, which is incurred in carrying out business operations. Examples are hardware, which may be part of the information system where you can touch it like the computers, keyboards, hard drive, etc. Another one is that telecommunications, which help in transmitting information by electronic magnetic means, or which also internet. Another one is the software, like Microsoft Office, Windows, and antivirus. Also, there is services and the personnel involved. For tangible assets, these are like tangible. Tangible benefits also are positive results that can be accurately measured and quantified with standard measurements. In business, the term describes any kind of outcome that is directly associated with financial gain or loss. The following are the benefits, which includes increased productivity, lower operational costs, reduced workforce, lower computer expenses, lower outside vendor costs, lower clerical and professional costs, reduced rate of growth in expenses, and reduced facility costs. As long as you increase in profits and decrease in expenses could be tagged as benefits. Another one is the intangible benefits, which are positive results of a process or action that can't be easily or accurately measured. They are sometimes called soft benefits to distinguish them from the hard tangible ones. There are several examples of intangible benefits. One is improved asset utilization, improved resource control, improved organizational planning, increased organizational flexibility, more timely information. Also, we have more information, increased organizational learning, legal requirements learning. For the employees, we have enhanced employee goodwill and increased job satisfaction. For the management, we have the improved decision making, improved operations, as well as the outside factors such as higher client satisfaction and better corporate image. Next slide will be regarding the capital budgeting for information systems. Yeah, it is the process in the business which undertakes to evaluate potential major projects or investments. A company might assess a prospective project's lifetime cash inflows and outflows to determine whether the potential returns that will be generated meet a sufficient target benchmarks. If you can remember our subject in financial management, we have several ways to compute the like the discounted cash flow analysis, which includes the present value method, the cost of capital, and payback analysis. As long as the positive cash inflows is greater than the cash outflows, The capital budgeting will result in a positive way. Another one is the real option pricing models. Use of the Use the concept of options valuation borrowed from the financial industry. ROPM's value information system projects similar to stock options, where an initial expenditure on technology creates the right, but not the obligation, to obtain the benefits associated with further development and deployment of the technology, as long as management has the freedom to cancel, defer, restart, or expand the project. It also gives the managers the flexibility to stage their IT investment or test the waters with small pilot projects or prototypes to gain more knowledge about the risk of a project before investing in the entire implementation. There are also limitations of the financial models. One is this, it is time consuming. Creating a financial model is a project which requires several tasks to be done. The data needs to be collected, the underlying factors have to be identified, and the model needs to be tested for financial as well as technical irregularities. This model then needs to be made intuitive and user-friendly. Needless to say, all this costs a lot of time and money. Many companies, particularly smaller ones, may not have the resources to spare for this exercise. Hence, in many cases, financial models have very limited applicability. Another one is inaccurate. In many cases, financial models have proven to be inaccurate. It needs to be understood that inaccuracy is built into the model itself. Nobody has the knowledge required to predict factors such as the interest rate, tax rate, and market shares with utmost precision. These factors are variable, which maybe have some impact on making some financial models. Next one is some factors are not considered. Many companies' information systems investment decisions do not adequately consider cost from organizational disruptions created by a new system, such as the cost to train end users, the impact that users' learning curves for a new system have on productivity, or the time managers need to spend overseeing new system-related changes. Next slide will be regarding the managing project risk. As project becomes increasingly dynamic, organizations need the ability to manage the uncertainty or risk that come along with those changes. In project management, risk management is the practice of identifying, evaluating, and preventing or mitigating risks to a project that have the potential impact the desired outcomes. Example of risk may be it is financially, the budget, the resources needed, legal, regulatory, and among others. Dimensions of project risk may be its project size or project structure. As we all know, the larger the project, the higher the risk. Organizational complexity of the system. Experience with the technology is also a factor. The project risk arises when the project team and the information system staff lack the required technical expertise. If the team is unfamiliar with the hardware, system software, application software, or data management system proposed for the project, it is highly likely that the project will experience technical problems or take more time to complete because of the need to master new skills. Change management and concept of implementation. Below are the factors which should be considered. Implementation refers to all organizational activities working toward the adoption, management, and routinization of an innovation, such as a new formation system. The role of end users also must be taken into account. The system implementations generally benefits from high level of user involvement and management support. User participation in the design and operation of information systems has several positive results. Also, we need the management support and commitment. If an information system project has the backing and commitment of management at various levels, it is more likely to be perceived positively by both users and the technical information services staff. Management backing also ensures that a system project receives sufficient funding and resources to be successful. Furthermore, to be enforced effectively, all the changes in work habits and procedures and any organizational realignments associated with the new system depend on management backing. If a manager considers a new system a priority, the system will more likely be treated that way by his or her subordinates. There's also we call the user designer communications gap, which user and information systems specialists tend to have different backgrounds, interests, and priorities. So example of user concerns, one is, will the system deliver the information we need for our work? Also, can we access the data on our iPhones, Blackberries, tablets, and PCs? So example is during the pandemic, many are working off-site. So those are some factors. What new procedures do we need to enter the data into the system? So are there the username, the password, or there will be one-time password, the OTPs? How will the operation of the system change employees' daily routines? So either the process should be, it will be longer or shorter enough. So I think the process should be shorter because of the system. So some of these are also designer concerns. So one is, what demands will this system put on our servers? What kind of programming demands will this place on our group? Where will the data be stored? What's the most efficient way to store them? So mag gagamit na ba ng cloud? What technologies should we use to secure the data? So we're referring this the firewall. The following that change management challenges. So one is business process reengineering. It is the act of recreating a core business process with the goal of improving product output, quality, or reducing cost. Typically, it involves the analysis of company workflows, finding processes that are subpar or inefficient, and figuring out ways to get rid of them or change them. One is also is enterprise applications. It is designed to integrate computer systems that run all spaces of an enterprise's operations to facilitate cooperation and coordination of work across the enterprise. The intent is to integrate core business processes like the sales, accounting, finance, human resource, inventory, and manufacturing. Also, there's mergers and acquisitions, which is deeply affected by the organizational characteristics of the merging companies as well as by their IT infrastructures. So, in Philippine setting, we have the banks like the BPI and Robinsons Bank merging, also the UCPB and the Land Bank. So, the following are the formal planning and control tools. One is the Gantt chart, which lists projects, activities, and their corresponding start and completion dates. The Gantt chart visually represents the timing and duration of different tasks in a development project as well as their human resource requirements. So as you can see in the image, there's several tasks and its deadline, or I think its timeline, when will they finish. Gantt chart also was developed by Henry Gantt, an American mechanical engineer. Although Gantt charts show when project activities begin and end, they don't depict task dependencies, how one task is affected if another is behind schedule, or how tasks should be ordered. This is where the PERT chart are useful, which we'll discuss in the next slide. PERT stands for Program evaluation and review technique. A methodology developed by the U.S. Navy during the 1950s to guide the Polaris nuclear submarine project. So in this image, we can see several tasks also, but they are intertwined with each other. It uses circles or rectangles called nodes to represent project events or milestones. These nodes are linked by vectors or lines that represent various tasks and their dependencies. This chart also allows managers to evaluate the time and resources necessary to manage a project. Increasing user involvement and overcoming user resistance. So participation in implementation activities may not be enough to overcome the problem of user resistance to organizational change. Different users may be affected by the system in different ways. So whereas some users may welcome a new system because it brings changes they perceive as beneficial to them. Others may resist these changes because they believe the shifts are detrimental to their interests. If the use of a system is voluntary, users may choose to avoid it. If use is mandatory, resistance will take the form of increased error rates, disruptions, turnover, and even sabotage. For my personal experience, I think mostly the people who are long tenure with the company are the one who are resistant or have they are hesitant with the system I mean advancement. Designing for the organization. The purpose of a new system is to improve the organization's performance. Information systems projects must explicitly address the ways in which the organization will change the new system is installed, including installation of intranets, extranets, and web applications. In addition to procedural changes, transformations in job functions, organizational structure, power relationships, and the work environment should be carefully planned. Some factors are the following. One is ergonomics, which refers to the interaction of people and machines in the work environment. It considers the design of jobs, health issues, and the end user interface of information system. Also, there's the socio-technical design, which is expected to produce an information system that blends the technical efficiency with sensitivity to organization and human needs, which leads to higher job satisfaction and productivity. For my last slide, we'll discuss the organizational factors in system planning and implementation. So we have the employee participation and involvement, but of course they are the one who, the end user, the job design, the standards and performance monitoring, which we will monitor the progress, ergonomics, which include equipment, user interface, and the work environment, employee grievance resolution procedures. I think this is for the session with the new system. Of course, there's the healthy and safety and the government regulatory compliance, which I think, like if you have a system and new system in the Philippines, you have this to be registered with the BIR. So that's all for my report. Thank you for your time and have a great day ahead.